I've spent the last several years of my life training to become a financial planner. It's sometimes embarrassing for me to admit that I've made some pretty bad financial mistakes throughout my lifetime. One of my favorite things that I've learned as a financial planner is how to fix those mistakes and how fixing those mistakes leads to a better life. So I'm going to share with you some of the worst financial mistakes I've made so you don't have to make the same ones. So starting with mistake number one. When I was 16, I learned about investments through the internet, but I was really scared of how investments would work. So whenever I saw a Charles Schwab or a Fidelity, it was a bit too imposing for me to take that step and start investing on my own. But then I learned about Robinhood, and if you haven't heard of Robinhood, they're a company that basically takes the stock market and turns it into almost a game. And so I downloaded Robinhood. I took my dad's ID so I could open an account because I wasn't even 18 at that point. I opened an account and funded it with $100. And so I was on my phone in high school during the school day, just buying and selling whatever random stocks I could find throughout the day. But here's what I didn't know. Day trading, where you're just buying and selling stocks and trying to follow patterns, is one of the worst ways of investing. I actually hesitate to even call it investing. It's more like gambling because depending on what study you look at, anywhere between 70 and 95% of day traders lose money. Whereas if you buy and hold the stock market over the long term, most people are going to gain money. That was financial mistake number one, is investing in individual stocks and trying to day trade instead of diversifying using mutual funds and ETFs and riding the market. Financial mistake number two is spending money on things, not experiences or people. One of my favorite things to do when I first started working was to go online and buy all sorts of gun stuff. I love guns, and if you've ever bought guns before, you'll know that you can drop a lot of money really quickly. So every time my $350 paycheck would come in, it would just as soon run right out the door because I was buying all this stuff that I needed to have. But if you look at studies and see what makes people actually happy when they spend their money, buying things, hobby equipment, buying nice cars, even buying a house, none of those meaningfully contribute to any feelings of happiness or success or fulfillment. What actually contributes to fulfillment is things like spending money on other people, giving away to charity, things like buying experiences, buying back your time. And if I were to go back in time, I would have spent a lot more of my money on experiences and people and a lot less of my money on things that don't actually make you any happier. The third mistake that I made, and I'm glad I rectified this pretty quickly, is not using tax-advantaged accounts when I was investing. The government really wants you to invest for certain things. They want you to save for your health, they want you to save for education, they want you to save for retirement. Most people, you might think that they're working against you, but they're actually trying to work with you. And they're giving you tax breaks if you save for these things in the right way. But I didn't know that, so I just put all my money into a regular brokerage account and let it go. But here's the thing. If you put your money into a Roth IRA when you're 20 and you let that compound over the next 50 years, you're going to retire with a lot more money that you started with and all tax-free. So I wish I would have known about Roth IRAs and 401ks, HSAs, 529 plans earlier so that I could have gotten started on that tax-free growth. So there you go. Those are three things that, even as a financial planner, have given me trouble over the years. Hopefully, you don't run into any of these problems yourself. If you like this video or found it helpful, I'd totally appreciate a subscribe down below. Give me a comment if you have any thoughts. And if you're looking for a financial planner, give me a call. My contact information is in the description.